Has the game just changed? 120 newton-meters of torque, 1000 watts of peak power, 19.2 kilos? Riders, welcome DJI to the party. Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and we are at DJI's headquarters in Frankfurt the night before Eurobike to check out the Amflow PL Carbon Pro, which is powered by the brand new DJI Avinox Ebike motor, which seems to be the most powerful e-bike motor in its class. So let's check out the specs and then ride it. So we're looking at the brand new Amflow PL Carbon Pro, which is rolling on 29 wheels or is Mullet compatible. Full carbon frame coming in 2.27 kilos, 160 of travel up front and 150 in the rear. Powered by the new DJI Avinox Ebike motor with 120 newtons of torque and 1000 watts of peak power in the boost mode. Available in either a 600 watt hour or 800 watt hour, 2-inch full color touchscreen integrated display, wireless remotes, and all the functionality you can expect from DJI. And weight coming in from 19.2 kilos, available in 4 sizes and 2 models later this year. Pricing is not confirmed, but should start around 5,000 to 6,000 euros. So there you go, riders, they're the cliff notes. Sub 20 kilos, 120 newtons of torque, 1000 watts of peak power. I had heard DJI were coming and I expected it to be good, but this is very, very impressive. This has to be the most powerful e-bike in its class if we're looking at power to weight. And let's check out the geometry numbers. Reach in a large, 475, head tube angle 64.5, seat tube angle 77, bottom bracket 345, and a relatively short chainstay for a 29er of 445. Anyway, riders, we're going to get outside now and ride it because I need to feel this 1000 watts of peak power. Okay, so riders, we are outside. It is raining, but we need to test this 1000 watts of peak power. So I'm going to slow it down, slow it right down. So we're going to about 4 k's an hour. Now let's watch the takeoff. Let's go. That was up to 25 k's in like 2 seconds. And now we're at 33 and it decouples seamlessly, completely, like you do not feel it. And before we dig deeper into this first look, a massive shout out to Quad Lock. You will see I've got my quad lock mount on my handlebars here. I have all my notes that I wrote on the plane out to Frankfurt this morning. I could not do my job without quad lock because look, it's all here. It's so easy for me to read my script. Anyway, riders, massive shout out to Quad Lock, and the legends at Quad Lock are offering you legends a 10% discount off every Quad Lock product. So check it out, link in the show notes. So first impressions, I'm impressed. So let's go through each mode and you can hear the noise of the system. So this is Eco. Then we go to Trail. And then back up to Turbo. And I'm not sure how well the mic is picking this up because the terrain is, you know, it's quite wet out here, but I'm going to say it is very quiet. Probably on, so we're talking like Bros sort of levels, I'd say. Definitely quieter than the Bosch and the Shimano. So who is DJI? If you're not a photographer or a drone pilot, you might not know. But for me, DJI is a really important part of our workflow. I have a DJI drone, I have a DJI gimbal, I have 2 sets of the DJI mics. And, you know, if you look at it as an outsider, DJI for drones is kind of like Apple is for iPhones. They definitely dominate the market. And I'm going to say, it was pretty interesting when I got the email from DJI to say if I wanted to test this bike. Of course I wanted to test the bike because I'm a massive DJI fanboy. And I thought it was interesting them entering the market. But when I thought about it, they are famous because they make drones. And what do drones have them? tiny motors and batteries, and they have to be reliable or the drones are going to fall out of the air. So it does make sense. And should all the major players like Bosch, Bose, Shimano, Yamaha be worried? I would say at the first look, they should be a little bit worried. This is a very impressive system. And when I'm thinking about it more, I think that DJI are going to position themselves as a B2B motor, battery, display, remote seller. I'm not sure they're that interested in selling the complete bikes. Obviously, this is a beautiful bike, but I think they're probably more interested in the B2B. Anyway, not sure about that. Now, let's go on to the look of the bike. I'm going to say it's a pretty sensational look of the bike, you know, like it definitely looks like a high-end electric mountain bike should. The motor is really small. We've got beautiful Bluetooth remotes here, a really big display, and there's actually 2 remotes, which is quite interesting. So you can cycle through, like I think this is my first look. So you can cycle through, it looks like 4 or 5 pages here. And then on the left, you've got your dedicated remote for the power. So you can go from trail to eco, trail and turbo. I like that. I do like that. It's right there. And you know, where people like SRAM are going away from having a dedicated remote, DJI are going for 2. So a good looking bike, very functional, very minimalistic. I mean, you do have those 2 remotes and a big display, but the whole integration is pretty bloody good, I'd have to say. And the geometry's spot on. I'm loving that they're making it mullet compatible. It does come as a 29er, but it does have a short chainstay or short-ish chainstay with 445, which I think the geometry is going to stand up. And it could be the point, right, is to tell you that DJI are sending me out the bike in August for a deep dive. So if you haven't subscribed to Sam's Bikes, please do so, because we're going to be looking at that shortly. What else do we go on to? Let's talk a little bit more about the motor. So we have 3 modes, and I mean, the 1,000 watts of peak power, that is pretty ridiculous, and 120 newton-meters. Now, I have been told that that is possibly limited for 30 seconds in turbo, but I've been riding it in turbo pretty much the whole time out here because it's so much fun, and it hasn't turned off. The technicians or the engineers were telling me that it is related to heat, and it is quite cold out here. So if it does get hot, possibly it's going to restrict it and only allow you to ride in trail. As I said, it's available with a 600 watt-hour battery or an 800 in the PL Carbon Pro. Now, I believe you do need to drop the motor, so it's not a removable battery, but there is a 12 amp quick charger, which is going to charge the battery from completely empty to 75 in 1.5 hours. So that's pretty cool. But riders, let me know what you think of this system. How does it look? What's the first look like? What do you want to know with my review? So recap on the motor. It's definitely pretty silent. We're in trail at the moment. I can hear the tires on the ground more than I can hear the motor. And I can also slow that cadence all the way down to about 40. And it's just got this nice, smooth, it doesn't seem to bog down. I'd need to test it in the mountains to see where it favors cadence. Obviously, I'm going to need to test it in the mountains, but it is just really smooth. Super impressed. One last thing, does the motor have a clunk? Look, let's see. I'm going to slow it down, go up and down. I can't hear a clunk, but you know, we're really going to have to take it out to the mountains, put it over some chatter and see. So there you go, riders. That is my first look of the new DJI e-bike system and motor. I'm going to say I am bloody impressed, but I really need to test it out in the mountains and really do that deep dive, which is going to be happening in August. So riders, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing the best 10 things at Eurobike, because we're at Eurobike all week. So riders, you stay safe out there and we're going to see you soon.